so this is after the race. I forgot to film what I did before the race to make for the last race. As you can see, front bumper, it's all welded on. Luckily, we found that guy. He was parked right next to us. So I went and found him in the stands, asked a whole bunch of people, and figured out who it was, and he got it on there for us. Actually, I guess, I don't know if I ran into someone or I just hit something on the track, or it held up though. It bent it down some more, but that's just paracord. Just drilled some holes in it and then riveted it. Got some rivets from someone and a drill. I'd pull the hood off and show you, but my hood's riveted on. I mean, I guess I could just untie it, but. So I did this shroud here. So this is a mixture of two shrouds. This part is from a Speedway shroud, and this is from a All-Star shroud. The All-Star shroud comes with a plastic one, so, and it wasn't big enough for the fan. It says it's supposed to fit a 17-inch fan. It does not fit a 17-inch fan. This is a brand new radiator from Abilene Race Rads. It's like 23 5/8 wide and 19 tall or whatever it is. It's got cooler looking end tanks on it, so that's kind of neat. You can see it written there. I need to get a little bit finer of a screen on there. As you can see, it messed up some of the fins. And then my water pump, I cut it off and then angled it towards the radiator, because on a factory one it comes back, you know. So yeah, cut that off. And then this is a hose. I believe this was a 12.5-inch hose, but I actually needed now this was a 13.5, because that's what they had at AutoZone, and I cut a couple inches out of it, so it's actually in this ribbed part up here. So I cut the spring out of it and got it on there. It was a little bit of a cluster. It's a pretty tight fit to squeeze it in there. Just did that. It's got 80% distilled water, 20% antifreeze in it with 40 below, which is a Kaiser product. We ran that in our Neons and it helped a ton, so that's what we did. Got a new upper hose. That didn't really matter. That's just something I did. But I got a new belt. That's from AutoZone. It's much more pliable than the one from KRC. So that's why I did that. And then I sandblasted the bottom pulley. That was actually Forrest's idea, to sandblast that and put more tension on it. What else did I do? Oh, you saw I pulled the pan off, replaced all the rod bearings in it, polished the crank, welded up my oil pump because that had a crack in it. I'm assuming it cracked from the heat. I didn't mess with the timing or the fueling. Actually, it was running a little rough before I went out for the heat race. It was starting to load up, so I just turned the idle screws in a little bit. So pulled a little fuel off the idle, and that seemed to help it quite a bit. Then I just had to make some new body mounts and stuff. The plastic one over here melted, so I just had to make that, and then just out of aluminum. It's nothing major there. Fixed the intake oil leak, so it's leaking out of the valley pan rail, or I guess was it China wall? I think that's what they call it, up there where the intake sits flat. So I filled that full of silicone. And then right before I was pulling on the trailer to go to the track, this bolt, I noticed that this was kind of leaning out. So I tried tightening it up, and of course it stripped out. So then I was running around and I got that bolt on there, just thrown on there because it was longer and had more thread engagement. So that one barely tightened up. I was scared the whole time, and you can see my belt's way out of alignment. And I had it pretty good when I was out of the car. So I think it's just this mount tweaking out and bending those bolts, because there's nothing holding it back here. On a Magnum block, you have a bolt that lines up with this one right here, as you can see that. So line up on the block, and there's a hole like right there, a threaded hole for a bolt to go in, and that holds it. So on a Magnum block, that's probably a decent setup, but on the LA, it doesn't like it. There's nothing else to hold it. So I probably need to weld something off this mount here, and then that way I can suck it in and get it straighter. I changed the valve cover gaskets. Those are Moroso steel core ones, the rubber ones. Before I had the old school Mopar Performance, super thick. I think they're neoprene or whatever they call them. So did that. Should have not been lazy and took the hood off, but yeah. I think you get the, oh, and I put a thermostat block in it. So or gutted thermostat. So I just cut the guts of it out, and I actually left the little nipple that comes up in it And then the thermostat bypass, plugged that, welded that on the top. Fan's still the same. It's the 4-blade Speedway, but it was only 180 degrees the whole race, and it was like a 90-degree day. And my oil pressure was at 40, which I wasn't too happy about. I like to see 10 PSI per 1,000 RPM, you know, everyone knows. But in the Mopar group, a lot of people are telling me, don't worry about it. And as far as the race setup, I was pretty loose. The only reason I got 6, I'd say, is because I survived the Beta 6. This got pushed over a little bit, and then that, your idler arm mounts to that, so that might be a little screwed up. I gotta call someone and figure out what the deal with that is. I showed the right rear tire. So yeah, someone got into me a little bit there, or I came up into them, one or the other. Someone got me there, bent my spoiler a little bit. You can see how thin this is getting. It rubs on the tires, so I got to figure out a way to kind of keep it pulled out. Where's my right rear? Where's my right rear? Right here, so you can see. I don't know if you can tell, but it chewed up pretty good. The left rear looks like pretty much perfect. So this was my left rear. It's still flat, still got good corners on it. So I don't know if that's like a sign of too much air pressure in the right rear. I had 14 in it and it was super slick, so I think I'd drop it down to 12. I had 8 in the left rear, and 10 up there, and 14 on the right front also. I think I had 12 gallons of gas in it, I think. I don't know if that means anything to you guys, but just throwing it out there. And then just by generic setup that I did, maybe put some more left rear in it. I don't know. Maybe you guys could tell me. I'm no expert. But yeah, that was this weekend. And the week before, it's pretty hectic. I had 2 days to get all that done. That shroud took me forever because I was at a loss on what to do. But it's got an 1/8 inch all the way around it, so it worked out pretty good, and it's super stable. The mount is for what it is. You just see it's a piece of tin holding it on, and then some little spacers, and then that ties into that little guard there. But yeah, hopefully we can get the slick figured out. I only turned 6,100 as far as RPM goes, and my fastest lap was lap 19. So that tells you that I wasn't doing the best of what the car even could. So maybe I should just try driving it for a little bit with this setup and trying to go faster with it. Because if almost my second to last lap was my fastest, obviously that meant the car had more. It's not like the car got better on that slick of a track. So yeah, stay tuned. Hopefully we make it out there this weekend. I got a lot of bodywork stuff to do, and then I don't think I'm gonna tear the pan off. Everyone told me not to. They said I'm fine with 40 pounds, but I'm still a little weary of it. But yeah, hope to get out there this weekend, get a new video this next weekend, and we'll go for there. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned.